One evening in August 2008, Minister Mentor Lee Kuan Yew gave the Straits Times editor Han Fu Guang a call, seeking his opinion on a few chapters he had written for what would be the third volume of his memoirs. But Han suggested a different approach, to talk about issues concerning Singapore through interviews. What followed were a series of 16 interviews over the course of a year where Lee agreed to answer questions posed by 7 journalists from the Straits Times. The result was a book titled Hard Truths to Keep Singapore Going, which was launched today.
I'm glad they changed my mind, and instead of a monologue, in the third volume of my memoirs, it became a dialogue, and I hope the questions raised will find greater interest amongst the readers. They said I was very anxious to get the thing going. When you're 80 plus, you're not sure how long more you've got. So I want to leave a message which I have slowly formed out of my 80 plus years of experience.
With so many books on Lee out there, what makes this one special?
I don't think in any of the books the authors had such unprecedented and great access to him. Literally, he opened himself up to us. 32 hours is, I think, the longest anybody has ever had with him. And really, there were no topics and no issues that were out of bounds, and he was prepared to take on any questions. It's not just our questions, but I think the interesting thing about the book is that we collected we spoke to a wide range of people, his critics, some of his most severe critics, who had many things to say about his policies. Some of them, of course, disagree very, very strongly with his views. So we collected their queries and we put it to him. I don't think there's ever been a book like this.
And how was it like interviewing the Minister Mentor?
Of course, it was very intimidating, right? And I can tell you why it's intimidating. It's not just the force of character, but also that this is a man who has governed for decades, and he has met all sorts of people. He has been through all sorts of situations. He has read all sorts of papers and ideas and theories, and he's assimilated that into his mind. And he's extremely intelligent, and so just going up and asking him something and coming up against that wall of knowledge, every single question he's able to pull out a factoid or a theory or a reference that chances are you would not have heard of.
Well, the questions I thought would be tough to ask were really personal questions. So, for example, one of the questions during the youth section we asked was about homosexuality, and I happened to ask that question.
You mentioned gay rights. Just wondering, what is your personal view on being gay? Do you think it's a lifestyle? Or?
No, it's not a lifestyle. You can read the books you want, all the articles. You know that there's a genetic difference. They're born that way, and that's that. So if 2 men or 2 women are that way, just leave them alone.
He was actually very sort of open about the answer. I don't know whether it's because he's thought about it or not, but he wasn't afraid to share his views that he believes that it is sort of genetically determined already, and so he said just so be it. If 2 people of the same sex want to be together. So I thought it was very refreshing to come from someone who you would think sometimes will hold a very conservative view on this issue.
Lee's latest book, Hard Truths to Keep Singapore Going, is currently available at all leading bookstores. Included in the book is a DVD of excerpts from the interview sessions. So what can readers expect to take away from the over 400 pages?
I hope the reader will go away thinking and rethinking some of the assumptions that he or she has held about Singapore. I hope the reader will go away thinking really seriously about what the future of Singapore is and how he or she can contribute to making that future a successful one.